Hey guys, so what's up? Tori here. I'm doing this video a little late at night. This is more of like a weight loss journey, weight loss surgery related type video. And I've been feeling really inspired lately by some YouTube channels that I've checked out and have gotten really into watching. And these channels are the channels of Obese to Beast, um, Michelle McDaniel, or My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You, um, Swole Normus, or he also has a podcast called The Daily Swole. And then, excuse the language in this one, but Every Damn Day Fitness. I've watched him too. And these are all people that are very, very outspoken and honest about their thoughts on the whole, body positivity, fat acceptance movement and things like that. And they're also very for health, being healthy, and all that stuff. And they express their thoughts on the whole fat acceptance, body positivity, health at every size thing. They all definitely share the same opinions that obesity is not healthy, and yes, you should accept people for who they are regardless of their size, and you should always show them kindness and respect and all that. But saying that you're healthy when you're obese is not true. There are facts, proven facts and science stating that it's not. And I agree with them wholeheartedly. And I just want to share basically the reality of being an obese person and the reality of why I also agree with them that being obese is not healthy. Like, being that size is not healthy. And this is coming from somebody who used to be obese. At my highest weight, I weighed 401 pounds. That was not healthy. And here's my reality of what life was like for me at that size. In reality, my menstrual cycle was horrendous. I had a non-stop heavy flowing menstrual cycle, which led me to having to, when I was 13, I got put on birth control for it. The particular birth control I got put on because of my weight gave me a blood clot in my right lung, and that put me knocking at death's door at the age of 13 from my obesity. That, and my doctor, I was put in the ICU for a couple of days. I was in the hospital for a total of 6 days, so almost a full week. And I was in ICU for 2.5 of those days, basically 3, I guess, of those days. And then I finished off my time in a regular hospital room. But my doctors told me over and over again that I should not have survived, that I should have died. And that I was extremely lucky, because literally, if I hadn't gone in when I did, it would have just been one wrong move and that clot would have broken off my lung and traveled to my heart and killed me. And the only reason I got that clot was, yes, it was because I was on that birth control, but it was a combination of my extreme obesity and that birth control that caused me to get that blood clot. And I knocked at death's door at the age of 13. Honestly, right then and there, that should have been my wake-up call to fix my weight problem, but it wasn't. Mostly because at that time I was a stupid, stubborn teenager. I mean, let's be real, how many teenagers really admit to themselves that they need to do something more about their weight? All teenagers think they're invincible and think they don't need to do things to fix themselves and all that. It's a typical teenager thing. And that should have been my wake-up call to be way more serious about my weight and to actually had gotten control of it then, but it wasn't. And I continued to have struggle with my weight well out of high school, to the point where I ballooned to 401 pounds. And being 401 pounds, my life, the fact that I wasn't already dead is a miracle, but I was very much working on dying. When I was at that point in life, I wasn't exercising much. I definitely was eating like crap. I was eating crap tons of food, pretty much nonstop, all day. I would do things like be out running errands, and I would stop at the nearest McDonald's and I would get a double quarter pounder, large fry, and a Diet Coke, because, watching my weight. And sometimes I'd get even additional food. If I stopped anywhere for food, like it was always a lot of food. And if I happened to be in a grocery store, I would buy myself snacks and I'd hide them in my bedroom and eat them nonstop. And being morbidly obese, I could barely take a walk around the block without feeling like I was going to die. I would literally be huffing and puffing and I would feel exhausted by the time I got done with that walk. And I remember when I would take walks, like my mom always was encouraging me to go on walks with her, always. And there were times I told her no, just because it was like, it felt like too much to me. It did. And now that my mom is gone, like there are times that she asked me to go on walks with her and I told her no. And I now that I don't have my mom anymore, I regret that. Since my mom passed away, it's like I regret that. I mean, I took many walks with my mom, so there are many times that I do have with her, but it's like all those times I said no to her, it's like it was awful. And it was my morbid obesity that kept me from doing that. I missed out on those moments with my mom. Being that morbidly obese, like I would get random aches and pains for no reason. And guys, I was 21 when I finally had my weight loss surgery and got control of my life. So yeah, think about that. Like I was young and I was having aches and pains and I felt like an 80-year-old woman. Like that's how little I was functioning, and my hygiene was horrible to keep up with. All the folds of my, like I had the hardest time taking a shower. Like keeping myself clean was so hard, especially in the summer when I would sweat more. And I would like, especially under like my belly apron, like it would constantly be rashy and it would smell like I felt like I stunk all the time in the summer. I never felt clean in the summer because of how much I would sweat. And if I would start sweating for any reason, doing any little thing, like I immediately just would feel gross and like I was stinking everybody out. Like keeping up with my hygiene was so hard. And going out in public, it was hard too, because anytime I went out, like I could feel everyone staring at me, and I knew people were thinking things about me, especially if I was in a grocery store for any reason, and I know I was being judged with every little thing I put in my shopping cart. And I went out, anytime I went somewhere, I would always think like, is the chair going to be big enough for me? Is the seat going to be big enough for me? Am I going to be able to fit on this? I never went to amusement parks. I got to a point that I stopped going to amusement parks because I knew I would not be able to fit on 90% of the rides. And there would be very few rides I'd be able to ride and enjoy, and I wanted to save myself the embarrassment. And I also knew I could not enjoy a full day at a park because I would get exhausted during the day. And being that big too, I had health issues that were creeping up on me. My blood pressure was starting to get out of control. I was I was knocking on death's door, guys. Like I already had been literally at death's door when I was 13. And the fact that I didn't actually die is amazing. Like God clearly wanted to keep me around for some reason, and he didn't. And he did. And he didn't let me die, and he kept me going. But I was so afraid of dying, and I honestly was to a point that it was almost like I can't do anything. I can't be a decent member of society, that I literally would think to myself, would it even matter if I did die? Because it's not like I'm doing anything to better society right now because of my weight, because my weight is keeping me, I felt at that time like I didn't have a decent job yet at that time because my weight made it hard to function at a decent job, and I had a hard time getting a job. Like I would go to interviews and I would always get the same answer. Like they would always say, we have other people applying and we'll let you know, and I would never hear back. And in my mind I was thinking, they're just thinking like, there's no way this fat person can handle a whole day working here. And even if that isn't what they were thinking, it felt like that's what they were thinking, because I would always definitely get a look of shock when they would see me walk in the door and see how big I was. And I'm sure their thoughts were there was no way this chick can handle a full day here. And in reality, I probably couldn't have. I probably would have been exhausted partway through my day and have had to have taken breaks like galore, and I wouldn't have been a decent worker at that time. And I was being held back from everything in my life. I was on the verge of being those people that you see in my 600-pound life who are literally just stuck in their houses and are dependent on people. I was already starting to be kind of dependent on people for things, and like if I had kept going, I would have become fully dependent on people for things. I mean, I was in the biggest size clothes that I could buy in regular stores. Like I was started to the point where I had to purchase from other specialty stores like online and stuff because I couldn't buy regular clothes anywhere else. And I was extremely depressed. Like my weight, and it was destroying me, guys. Like it was destroying me. I was dying and my health was starting to take effect. I already was considered insulin resistant pre-diabetic, and I was getting high blood pressure starting to develop, and I was starting to get all these issues that come with morbid obesity. Morbid obesity is seriously no joke. This is coming from somebody who was there at a young age. Like guys, literally as a 21-year-old, I felt like I was actually an 80-year-old woman because that's like I couldn't do things. I just couldn't. And I remember my mom always being so desperate to fix me. My mom worked so hard for my entire life dealing with my weight. She did everything to try to help me get my weight under control. She did. She tried so many things, and she tried helping me in so many different ways. And if she were here right now, like I would thank her over and over again for all the sacrifices she made for me to try to get me healthier. And then when I finally made that decision to really gain control of my life and to have my weight loss surgery and to get better eating habits and better exercise habits, like it changed my whole life. Like now I am such a better person. I can do everything I want to do. I am actually healthy. I am legitimately healthy now. I was not healthy when I was that big, but I am healthy now. I have perfectly fine blood pressure. I have all my blood work and stuff is normal. I'm not considered pre-diabetic anymore. And like as far as all my parts and like menstrual cycle stuff, as far as I know, it's all working great. I mean, I'm on a birth control anyway still right now, but as far as I know, everything is all functioning normally and is doing what it's supposed to be now. Like all my parts are working, like everything's working, and I can enjoy a full day with all the energy in the world and do everything and be everything. Like the most important thing is I gained my health, and I gained a whole lifetime of life to live. Because when I was that big, I did not have a lifetime of life left to live. I was lucky if maybe I had another 5 years left on me when I was that big. Now I literally have my entire life ahead of me. I'm about to get married, guys. I'm getting married in 3 weeks. There's no way that would be happening right now if I hadn't gotten my life under control. No way. Absolutely no way. Because probably right now I would actually be dead or working on being dead, if not already dead. Like I would not be where I am today if I hadn't made that choice. And to me, fat acceptance is definitely accepting the fact that I was fat. Yes, I accept that I was fat, and I accepted the fact that I needed to gain control of my health and get my life back and get my life actually living life. Because at that point I wasn't living life. I wasn't living life at all, and now I am living life. And I know my mom would be so proud and so happy of me for me. And because in no way do I blame my mom for getting that big. I blame no one but myself, because my mom tried everything to help me eat right and make better choices. And my mom, she would always try the same diets with me, because my mom always struggled with her weight too, and she always worked hard to try to change her eating habits too. And she always would try doing everything right alongside me. So I don't blame my mom. I blame no one but me and my own stupidity and not getting my crap together and eating right and exercising and all that. And now that I do it, I have a life. And morbid obesity is no joke. It kills, and I would be dead now. I I never want to be that morbid obese person again, and I don't wish morbid obesity on anybody because it sucks. You feel like crap and you feel like you're dying because in reality you are dying. And all I can say is I encourage every person out there who is morbid obese, if you need help, reach out to me, please. I want to help you. I want to help you get your life back. And there is nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with admitting to yourself that I need to get healthy and lose weight. Don't listen to those crazy whack jobs and the fat acceptance, body positivity, health at every size movement. Like, there are some whack jobs out there that like are going to convince you that you are just fine, you're fine just the way you are fat. Like, you are a perfectly good person, like, you know, being fat. Like, there's nothing wrong with you as a person being fat, but there is definitely something wrong with your health being that big. And I want to help you get your health under control so you can live a full, long, happy life. That's the whole point of it, is living a full, long life, because when you're that big, you won't. The fact is, you won't. And I definitely wasn't going to either. And so, please, like, all I can say is do get help. Do it. Get healthy. It's worth it. It's worth it. It was worth it for me. And I know it would be worth it for you too. Like, you have a whole world out there just waiting for you to enjoy if you are morbidly obese. And you can get rid of it. It's possible. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It takes a lot of hard work, but it is possible and it can be done. And I encourage you to put that work in and to get it done and to get yourself healthy. So I just want to end it there and just give you, and just please reach out to me if you need help, because I want to be there for you. That's part of what my channel is about. It's my life, health, weight journey, everything about me. That's what I've made my channel to be more about. So please reach out to me if you need it. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all those links in the description below. Always feel free to DM me and chat with me, leave comments so we can chat. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you all in the next video. God bless you.